Do you like the tacos, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and especially Gringo's Tacos. And you can get yourself some. Tons of locations. 2 in the Amway Center, the one in the Milk District, the one that we go to. The original Gringo's downtown. There's one on Michigan now.
Yep.
UCF. Did I get them all?
Yep, and the 2 in the Amway.
And they're catering, and that's what I'd like to talk about right now. The catering is spot on for any party, any wedding, any gathering, anything you got going on. Gringo's Catering is where it's at. It's the best tacos, burritos, and quesadillas you could ever put in your mouth.
Yeah, big or small catering. I've done catering for my son's birthday.
Way too much food.
Where they just go and drop it off, and they drop off everything you need to make your own double Ds.
Yep.
Or if you're having a bigger event...
You can staff it, sure.
Yeah, and you can have some of Gringo's staff come and make double Ds for you, and, whatever you want. You could do hundreds of people, or you could do a small birthday gathering.
Could you do just me?
I think so. That's called just go to Gringo's and get the couple double Ds.
I want to hire, because I'm going to pay a premium. I understand I'm going to pay more.
Whatever.
But they bring it, and they bring 3 tacos.
Yeah. And
they'd be like, you're an idiot.
They do queso cones for catering as well, that they don't have in the stores. So,
their whole menu, there's a guaco taco on there. I mean, you really just got to talk with them to find out what they can do. It's Gringos Locos, the official taco provider of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
GringosLocos.com. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So, let's talk fish.
Okay.
All right. We're close.
Yeah. We've pivoted.
Ladies and gentlemen.
A couple of weeks ago, you may have known we were going to do, we started doing Bird Wednesday, and it burned really hot for maybe 1 week, 1.5.
Yeah. I'm working on a bird.
First week, we were really interested. Second week, we were half interested. Third week, not good. Canceled.
Yeah.
But we are going to bring it back.
Yeah. But then we need birds in studio.
Yeah. It's got to be live birds. If you have an animal, an exotic animal, sugar glider, if you have
anything,
any kind of pet, you have a rabid pit bull that mauls children's faces, any of that, bring it in.
Yeah.
And we'll interview you about being, and it's going to be called Amazing Animals.
Yeah.
Something like that. We'll make some name. I'll make an intro, put some echo, the thing, But we want to do, and this is an idea that I think you came up with, like 2 years ago. When we first started dabbling with our cameras. We're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. You can watch the show live. You can watch replays of the show, and also those videos are updated to, or uploaded rather, to YouTube, so you can watch the shows. So you had this idea of a fish cam, so when we're not live, and we're like eating lunch, or like in a meeting, in a break, where we can leave the cameras on for the full workday and run a fish cam.
Yeah. And
I'm guessing a fish tank. We'll put the camera in the tank.
Yes.
So you get like something other than just us, milling around. You get to watch these live animals.
You'll be basically watching from inside the tank, and the fish will be swimming around. So you'll see the fish, but you also, beyond the fish, you'll see the studio.
You'll see the silhouettes of our naked bodies.
Yeah, while we do it in the
dancing.
break.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we do a lot of nude dancing.
And so we already have some potential sponsors of Fish Cam that may even
one of them being McDonald's.
Yeah.
We're in a slight negotiation with them. There's a slight bidding war between them and, let's say, Wendy's.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And then our plan would be to go pick out the individual fish that represent our personalities to go into the fish tank.
You'd be a fish that hates everything. You're the pout fish. Do you have that book?
Yeah.
You're the pout fish.
Yeah. I have all
glub.
You have pout Christmas?
Oh, I got them all. I got all the pout.
You sure?
How many pout do you have?
Hold on.
How many llama baby mamas do you have?
Hold on. How many different stores did the pout fish go to for pout Christmas?
Oh, how many different stores? 12.
No, that's
I was guessing.
Yeah.
I don't have
pout. I knew it. You went to 3, sir.
I don't have
3 different stores.
I'm a llama man myself. I have llama red pajama. I have llama baby mama. I have llama goes to school.
Don't know what is that.
Llama joins Space Force. I got them all.
No, I never.
You never done the llama books?
No, don't know about that.
Okay. These guys have no idea what we're talking about.
No, I think you guys are speaking another language.
Yeah. Moving on to fish cam.
Yeah. So then we'll go out and pick out a fish for Seth Pizzelli. We'll have a Big Tim fish. We'll have a Remy fish. We'll have
So everybody, and
we'll
then
have
we'll,
Cadillac Pat 90s fish.
Here's what we need. We need a guide.
Tiny Spuds McKinley.
We need a tiny guide that I can put up that goes in will time in and out, like fade in and fade out like every 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
That it's a fish guide that will like kind of show you which fish is which, like if we have a clownfish in there, and let's say that's me, then it'll have a picture of the clownfish and it'll say Dan, or if you pow fish, it'd be a dash and then Tom, and that way you
what
can.
What kind of fish would I be? We gotta get our characters straight here. Blowfish?
Oh, you beat us. I didn't even think about it. I was actually making noises and telling my brain to not be disrespectful. I'm like, make the noise, but don't think of anything.
I'm so uncreative, I just could make noise. I couldn't even think of a joke.
The whole time I try to think of something, but don't be rude.
Yeah.
But blowfish is good.
Right.
We could get a baby blowfish in there. What do you want to be?
Ooh, Butler.
What's the stoniest of all fish?
The stoniest, a stone fish.
Little eel.
Rock shrimp.
Rock shrimp.
Oh, yeah, a little tiny crab.
I could be a rock shrimp, maybe. You could be like a tiny stoned out crab.
My
hermit crab.
My buddy in college, I think I told you about that. The Wizard had a fish tank, and he had but it was a ghetto
dolphin.
He would actually catch fish and crabs and stuff from and then put it in his fish tank. He wouldn't buy anything, so that's
what hillbillies do.
So he had this one crab that would basically it had two claws. Then,
most crabs do. Yeah, that's a standard.
Then, a fish started messing with him, bullying him, and then, and actually bit his one claw off. And then
my God.
He ran.
That's way worse than posting a picture of him at the gym on Twitter.
And then he ran behind, the skull, and then,
The crab ran behind the skull to hide?
Yeah. And then, 2 weeks later, he emerged with one mambo claw.
Oh, he grew a new one.
But he grew a gigantic
he was
one.
in there, pumping iron.
And he's like, what? He's never seen that before. He's he grew a mambo claw, and then he was he was the man, and he was chomping at the
so he used his mambo claw.
Yeah. But apparently crabs can grow whatever size claws they want, which I never knew.
No, I don't. An 80s montage going inside the skull, take it to the limit.
Yeah.
Samantha, look it up. Look up. Can a crab grow his claw whatever size he wants?
He doesn't will the size. I mean, it's probably...
He started off with a small one,
yeah,
and
but it's
then
probably
grew.
a roll of the dice of what he gets, right? He's like, please be a big claw, please be a big claw.
Is that how it works?
I don't think he gets to go I
it's
want
either
this
mambo
claw
or-
to be 3 inches big. I don't think he controls it.
I mean, why'd he grow one mambo?
Well, because he lost the other arm, so he's all the nutrients went to that, and it probably just grew bigger. Kind of like when you wear a cast, you get crazy long arm hair.
I think he had
What kind of crab was it? Was it a fiddler crab?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because they
It's
can
tiny.
regenerate their claws, but they say they normally grow back to just the original size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe he something happened.
Yeah,
Did the
maybe.
wizard drop any,
I don't know.
any uranium in there or anything?
It says same thing with fiddler crabs. They're sexually dimorphic, so the males have one large and one small front claw, while the females have two small claws. So they do
changed.
have one mambo claw.
So he had 2 regular claws. He went into the skull. He's like, I don't identify as a girl anymore.
They literally changed it to a male.
I was
and drew-
Sally the crab. Now I'm Sam the crab.
and grew a mambo
And he grew a mambo.
for fighting.
Yeah.
See, that's what.
But he can't compete in any of the female crab events anymore because it's just not fair.
Okay, how many of you guys have fantasized about having a fish tank? Because I have my entire
No.
life. When I was
I had a fish tank as a kid.
me
but
too.
I think
every Florida boy had.
But was your saltwater? I wasn't
No.
allowed to have saltwater.
No, it was
yeah,
fresh.
see?
Yeah.
Yes, mine was just filled with neons. And,
Mine just we had
and stuff.
goldfish. We had anything that was freshwater that you could buy.
Tetras,
I think
yeah.
I even had those fish at Walmart that they probably were inject them, make them neon.
Yeah.
make them light up.
Yeah.
Put a battery inside of them. They don't care.
But I've always wanted a fish tank at my house to like just look at and then get like in my fantasy, like I go to the fish store and I get like a new fish, I bring it home.
I used to do that with my dad.
But like if you go saltwater, you can get some weird like there's a variety. Freshwater, you're kind of stuck with the staples,
big fat
Goldfish.
ugly fish.
yeah, like goldfish, brown fish, some suckerfish, some freshwater
a
crab,
bunch of turd fish.
I vote that Butler is a cookie cutter shark.
No, what is?
That's an actual thing.
That means he's basic as hell.
No, he likes cookies.
Is it?
Okay. I see what you're doing there.
That's pretty vicious.
Are we going to
Okay,
get a little
exactly
shark
what
in there?
We could, I guess. Just depends on who we.
How about some jellyfish? Can we get the jellyfish?
I don't think you could put jellyfish because they'll swim into the tentacles.
I want a starfish.
No, we can get a starfish.
Whatever.
Brown.
Starfish. Who started that? Who looked at that and was like, "That's a starfish"?
That's not a starfish.
It doesn't look like a starfish to me.
Now the knot, I understand.
What, balloon knot?
Yeah.
That's yours. I thought that's your belly button.
No.
What's your belly button?
Whoa.
The belly buttons are weird.
Your BB and your BH look awfully similar.
Yeah.
Both balloon
Don't
nuts.
mistake them, though.
You know, okay, let me ask you this. So Tommy has a weirdo belly button.
Oh, no. This
brought this
poor
up
kid.
before, dude.
This kid's got the worst of everything.
You brought this up before. Don't talk about it.
And
He's
so
a nerd.
Is
they
it a
wear
big Audi?
glasses.
no, it's not an
No,
Audi,
he's
but
still got that black thing that you come from the hospital.
black banana.
Looks like an old cigar.
gross. It looks like a mummy finger.
Yeah.
But
That's the worst things about babies when they're first born. They get the mummy finger growing out of their
Yeah.
BB,
Yeah, they're all hairy.
And then when they go number 2 for the first couple of times, it's jet black motor oil. It's called like marcomium or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
marchromium,
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you even put that in there?
and they're covered with dark hair. And they're
Butler's
gross.
done.
Yeah, they look like an oil monkey. It's insane.
But for whatever reason, Butler,
Butler, this is why we don't bring him in here.
Yeah, he can't hold his tongue. Anyway,
He can't hold the tongue. Perfectly said, sir. Butler should be in here. You can't pop a toe. Are you all right?
I'm struggling.
He had a stroke.
I'm struggling. I'm still sick. All right. So he had a desire.
He had a desire to be the greatest ice skater of all time.
You all right, bud?
No, I'm not all right.
Oh, drink your sparkling water, baby.
Hold on. Give me a goddamn break.
By the way, during our lunch break, I did, because Tom's got his settings on his phone, the volume is sky high.
yeah, like an old
So
man.
I could hear the conversation between him and his wife, and it is insane.
I always wonder if you guys can hear that.
I can hear that one.
What
I
happened?
started laughing.
What happened
She
this
was
time?
accusing him of future cheating, which was weird. I've never heard of future cheating.
What, you cheated in like 2031 or something?
No.
Like what?
She's mad at him today for him cheating in the future with...
No, she just
She's
thinks-
mad
Somebody.
about who you're going to cheat with?
No, she just she.
Jake from State Farm.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
What did you do that made her think that?
I go.
She
get
went
a,
into detail.
I get a smoothie. She's nuts. I told you. And I think she's messing with me too. Like she don't really think this, or at least I don't think.
Well,
she
why would
likes
you
the
waste
fact
her
that-
time saying it then?
She likes the fact that you're married because she knows you could be committed.
I'm like, what is happening over there?
making up a scenario.
Tom, by the way, just going,
because it's stupid. It's like someone
He's going
telling.
along with the scenarios.
No. It's like someone telling me their dreams. Daniel knows. I'm like, I can't even take it seriously.
Well, my dreams aren't even this crazy.
Yeah, but it's just nonsense. So she's telling me she's
It
like,
went on for a while.
she like because of this smoothie girl.
Why, I thought you had a smoothie boy.
No, it's a girl now.
Well, because at my new place, I don't go to the place near here. I go to the place anyway.
Yeah, I go to the further one away. That makes sense.
So, and it's the one on the
Don't want to
way.
get caught with your smoothie girl. That's why.
But,
yeah, you got to move out.
And I tell her, I'm like, nobody's.
She means nothing to me. I'll just go there for her raspberries.
My wife's like, oh, I'm like, she may want you for your monies, and because she knows.
Oh yeah, when you pull up in your in your Trump truck with dents all in it, yeah, that's impressive.
You know how much a
What is that?
Trump truck
What
costs?
is that? A 2018, no features whatsoever, dented up gray boat pulling truck? Wow, this guy's loaded.
I told her, I was like, and Samantha, tell me if this is the right theory. But by the way, I'm virtually certain she's joking with me, but
there's that 1% in the back of your head.
Oh yeah. So the like young girls in their, like, let's say 20 to 25, in that range. I don't
You
think
got a young smoothie girl.
Well, I don't think those girls are interested in guys, like older men with money.
Daddy issues. That's
Is
what
that
I'm
what
gonna
it
say.
is? Because I thought it was because at that age,
A lot of most females I know typically are attracted to older men. Not
Okay.
necessarily extremely older, but just older than them. So you're
But even in-
you're in your late 30s now, but you look young. So
Yeah.
she might not know you're that old.
I don't know. Today you didn't look that young. Today you look
No.
the oldest you've looked.
it's been a rough week.
Yeah,
You know, I can tell. I'm struggling a little. I'm
Everything's a
disheveled.
little out of place, you know?
Yeah, because my whole family's sick now, including my wife.
Oh,
I think,
maybe she's like hallucinating right now.
yeah, she was like she.
That Dayquil will make you crazy, man.
But
Now, how did, like, and you can stop me if you don't want to talk about this, but how did she even find out about the smoothie
Right,
girl?
exactly.
Like my
we
wife.
go to the same smoothie place every day.
Oh, your wife goes with you?
Yes. Well,
Oh.
no, she doesn't go with me. We go, and this is part of her other theory.
Okay, here we go. This is where it gets
Has
crazy.
my husband been here? Oh, yeah.
He was just here. He got.
Did he get his usual, the chocolate chip?
Chocolate
With
chip.
the Energizer blaster in it? What did he get? You tell me, what did he get? Jetty Punch? Did he get a Jetty Punch with a fat burner in it?
So when I started taking,
I'll rip your weave out.
when
That's me as your wife.
so when I started at the beginning of Tommy's school year, when he started going to kindergarten, taking both boys to school.
Right, I remember.
So back in whenever the hell, August, I guess. So for the first couple months, when my wife was real busy with work, I'd take him to school. So I'd drop Tommy off. Elementary school starts at 8:30,
Yeah, it's early.
and then preschool starts at 9. So there's a half an hour difference. So me and Max and Tommy, we'd load up in the car. I'd take Tommy to drop him off at school, and then we'd have a half an hour to kill between Tommy's school and dropping Max off.
Yeah.
So we'd stop by the smoothie store since
So after the big, what is it, Uncle Herschel's breakfast, you then take him to go get a smoothie?
yeah.
Holy moly.
My God,
Yeah,
he might need
what
some
do you-
fiber pills.
You better ease up. What do you want, an EJ on your hands?
He doesn't.
I'm just saying.
He only takes 2 sips of it. It's a complete waste of money. So, but I stop by, and I get my normal peanut butter power up.
Chocolate
Your
chip,
baby,
peanut butter, give me
your
a chocolate
baby.
Elvis, 2 fat burners, an Energizer.
This is how I lost
put
weight.
a multivitamin. In
No banana, substitute leafy greens.
Oh, that's the sweet beans.
Oh, that's
Sweet
what-
greens.
Sweet greens. Sweet beans.
Add vitamin plus.
A vitamin blast. That's never mind.
Can you put a vitamin blast in my sweet greens, please? Sally? If my wife comes by, I'll tell her I haven't been here. What are you clowning, boy?
So anyway, so then
This sounds disgusting, by the way.
it was me and Max's
But it
little
works for
ritual.
him because he's dropped 30, 35 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's working.
and so that's what I literally eat every day
Definitely
for
not the,
breakfast.
I still want to know how that...
So how does your wife get to this smoothie
Okay,
place now?
so anyway,
Don't
so,
suggest. Oh, you should definitely go to my. You're trying to get healthy. You should definitely go eat a smoothie.
Is she harassing
with
the smoothie gal?
girl
No.
I'm cheating on you with? What?
So then Max will get a kid-sized Captain Kidd.
Captain Kidd. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, at the beginning of the year, 2020, that's when like my wife slowed down a bit, and she's like, well, I'll take the kids so you can go to work earlier, because after I drop off Max at 9, I get here like 9:30, 40, whatever. So she's been taking the kids to school, and that's been the new routine. But Max wants he's used to his morning smoothie, right?
He wants his 2 sips of Captain Kidd.
Yeah. And we can't tell our kids no.
All right.
Especially when it's like, whatever. It like we look at it like, what, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So
you don't need to justify it.
Yeah, okay.
It's fine.
I know, whatever.
We're not judging you.
That's bad. You judge me. It's fine.
No, I'm not. I'm not judging you.
But so then,
I'll judge
now
you later tonight when I recap this with my wife. I'm not judging you now. Are you crazy? I'm not an animal. I don't judge you to your face. Gee, nobody does that. If you do that, you're a bad person.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you judge later.
So now, when they leave the house, I wait. No, I wait like 15 minutes for the time her to get to drop Tommy off. Then I leave, and then we meet at the smoothie store now. And
so difficult.
And then so that I deliver Max his Captain Kidd, and then I go delivery, and then if they get there before me, they go delivery anyway. But so we show up in separate cars. So going back to my wife's crazy theory, she thinks that the smoothie girl thinks that we're like a separated couple.
Yeah, because now it kind of looks like
it looks
that.
like you're trading the kid off in the parking lot of the smoothie. Yeah.
You know what? She's not that crazy. She's not that crazy.
You heard the crazy.
You know what's crazy?
Your wife was right the whole time.
Tom showing up to give. Here's a special delivery for my special boy. That's
Special
crazy.
delivery, trying to make up for the fact that I'm a bad dad.
Exactly. I'm with Crystal.
I don't love your wife. I don't love your mom enough, but I sure do love Sally, the smoothie girl.
And then sometimes on the weekends we go there. On the weekends I go there and I don't get the Captain Kidd. So it seems like
it's a week off.
And she always says like, "Do you want the Captain Kidd?" I'm like, "No, not today."
No. Wife's got him this week.
So,
dude, I'm a Crystal side now.
I'm on Crystal side.
I didn't do anything.
Not yet.
Yeah, but this whole thing
cheating.
This whole thing is overly complicated. You're driving 2 cars with a smoothie place. You should go. When she takes
I told
Tommy,
her, I was like, nobody thinks no young girl thinks that I'm attractive, and then she's like, oh yeah, but now you lost some weight, and and then I go,
you're dripping in turquoise.
Just wear protection.
I'm like, she may be attracted to my body, but I got the face of an old man.
No, you don't.
And,
just today.
But then I'm like, this is ridiculous. So anyway, so now that's her theory.
Everybody wants us to either call Crystal or maybe they want us to call the smoothie girl.
No. And she's also she's
Planet Smoothie Castleberry.
I don't. No. Now I can't.
This is Gertrude talking.
No, because I don't want. This is how. The things get crossed.
You gotta mix them. Yeah.
No. This is how
always mix them.
This is how I end up at UCF or Rollins College giving a speech to a class. Like you start mixing the worlds and then it crumbles.
Well, you're not going to go speak in front of her class. I mean, you've done enough small talk to know exactly what she does.
No. I don't do any small talk.
But your wife obviously does.
It's the same transaction every time. In fact, when I enter
but you used to chit chat with your smoothie boy.
Yeah,
so
Dante.
You don't chit chat with the smoothie girl.
Well, no, because Dante was talking about. He emailed me, by the way.
There'll never be another Dante.
I think he's out of Rollins because he's into real estate now.
Got kicked out, bro. Something about having a bad presentation.
Failed that class.
I may have. This happens every once in a while.
You signed my death warrant to Rollins, you idiot.
I get involved in people's lives and it goes downhill. Their lives go downhill.
Enjoy the poop I put in your peanut butter power.
Power up, sir? Thank you.
Oh, it's the peanut butter power up.
So, nobody.
So you don't chit chat with the smoothie girl.
No, I don't. Because I don't have anything in common with a 20-year-old girl. I had nothing to talk to her about whatsoever. Dante knew about sports, so we talk about betting.
You don't know? She may know sports.
No, I don't. Me and young girls don't have nothing in common. I cannot hold a conversation with a young girl because they're into nothing I'm into. I imagine.
Sam, can you get some young girls in here to test this theory?
How young are we talking?
Like 18 to 25.
Maybe.
Also, no, like, I don't get hit on. I don't get girls that hit
You're
on
also
me.
oblivious, though. So you might actually be getting hit on and not know it.
I don't think so. I because I'd like to imagine that like girls would be like, oh, I like this guy.
See, it works differently for me because I like
ladies
like
that
Travis.
think you're attractive.
I do too. Yeah,
but
I
they don't hit on me.
I like to let
Well,
my
they know
wife
you're married.
If I
They're
get
not
hit on,
a-holes.
That's what I'm saying.
I've been hit on before, and I like to look at my wife and be like, she wants it. Like I like to
Power move.
Yeah, I like to.
No, I tell her that.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
like, still got it.
yeah, I
like that.
I believe me. I want to tell my wife like, hey, I got hit on all day. Girls
Making
don't
out
like
with
me
a smoothie girl.
because maybe she'll step up her game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't happen.
You would like to think in a perfect world that you flirt with a smoothie girl, tell your wife that the smoothie girl is
Into
a
you.
little sweet on you,
Yeah.
and then you come home that night and maybe she comes out of the bathroom wearing a wig.
But it's the opposite.
It doesn't.
Crystal gets mad. They haven't even flirted yet.
No
Yeah.
flirting.
Why don't you make your own smoothies at the house?
Yeah.
You save the money. The delivery of the Captain Kidd is easier. Or why don't you take one car? Or why don't you let her go to take Tommy? Don't wait. You leave at the same time, go to the smoothie place, get all the smoothies, and bring them back, and then deliver them at the house. Then you don't have to have the awkwardness.
There's no awkwardness with my wife. I'm having a normal transaction.
Well, because she's going to the smoothie place, she sees the woman you're cheating on her
Yeah.
with.
No. It's she's the crazy one, and I'm gonna stick to my routine. It's been working fine, and I don't want this nonsense.
Is this
to
when you
appear.
become a big fat?
Yeah.
You can't-
As soon as I stop that, huge.
My point of bringing this phone call up was because Tom was yelling, "Give me a break," in which I was saying, even on our lunch breaks, Tom doesn't get a break because he's getting yelled at by his wife for future cheating.
I like how he's like,
ignore it.
oh, it's lunch. I think, hello? You just
Yeah.
getting like yelled at.
That's exactly how it happened.
She's been doing that for years, and then I was just sitting there listening
You
to
just
her,
zoning out.
listening to her drive. Like, what are we doing
Are
here?
you in a car? I'm in a car. Are you in a car? I'm in a car.
And then I hear like, "Hey, Daddy." What did he say? That's a whole
He said, hey.
Oh, God.
Hi, Max. It's Dia.
Hi, Dada.
Hi, Max.
Hey, Dada.
My work. What did he say?
He said he's at work.
Okay. Why are you even having the conversation?
It is pointless.
No, but why?
My life.
Why? You have more pointless phone calls than anybody I've ever met.
Call just a call. Don't have anything to say.
It's like, it's like when Crystal
can't
gets
see
in
if
the
I
car,
gotta go. She's like,
she starts
"Oh."
driving. She's like, "This is boring. I want to call my husband and yell at him."
I think it's like I'm a little unhappy. I need him to be unhappy too.
I do that to him.
Maybe
I'm like, this day sucks. I'm going to call her and yell at her. I do that.
maybe
It's not
You
fair.
guys are bad people.
I 100%
I'm
do.
not minding my business. I'm sitting here trying to gag down some Matook rolls that
You couldn't even finish them.
Yeah, there's,
obviously
there's
hurting
a
me.
whole bin roll left.
My stomach started making sounds that were real bad, like real bad.
She put something extra in that peanut butter blast.
Oh, yeah, well, all right, we'll take a break. We did a lot of bad there. That's really bad. When we come back, we'll finish out the show. You're listening to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. It is another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
Good morning.
Well, good
I'm good.
afternoon, I should say, or good night. But we tape these in the morning, so hey, whatever. Anything to address before we jump into it, my friend?
If you're a BDM, we hope to see you this Saturday for the BDM only party. Again, you could find out all the information on the app once you sign in as a BDM, or you should have it in your email, or we've been talking about it on the show, or go to the BDM page.
Yep.
Lots of different things, but got quite a party for you guys on Saturday.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. We're kind of still putting bows on everything, but yeah, we're excited to see. If you're not a member, sign up. TomandDan.com/registration. Let's do it.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. What's going on, EJ?
You guys are welcome for having me.
What did he say?
He said that you're welcome for having me.
Oh, so you're doubling down.
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
letting it.
Yeah.
Letting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to someone else before him, and I was saying you're welcome to them and not to Owen. I didn't mean for Owen to hear that at the same time. It's one of those situations where I didn't mean to say that to him.
And
I think that sounds fake.
And then
Fake news.
Yeah,
when
it
you
sounds fake news.
and then, did you know that you'd said something to him that caused them to?
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, he's going to take that the wrong way," and I'm like, and then I ran away because I.
Oh, that helps. Well, I mean, that's what everybody in America should do. Don't explain yourself. Just run away and let the person come to their own conclusion. That's intelligent.
That'll help the situation.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it did sound like something you wouldn't have said, EJ.
You know what?
Okay, Mike B, not time.
So,
At least I don't have a voicemail like that. That's good.
what do we got today?
Which one do you want to do first, nerd or jock?
Here's the thing. Let's do nerd first because there were some people bitching on the BDM page.
yeah.
They're like, I don't like it.
Yeah, let me talk.
They're like, every time EJ talks about nerd stuff that we're all interested in, Tom makes fun of him, doesn't let him talk.
Wait a minute, I make fun of that stuff too.
I know, but
Like the
but
Pokemon
you're the
stuff.
good one.
The Pokemon stuff is complete garbage. Any comic book movie, complete garbage. I always say that. That's my bit too.
the guy was like, I want to hear more about Pokemon, and then I'm like, that's fine. I'll respect your wishes, but what are you going to talk about?
Here,
Like,
I
what
can
is
help.
it? It's nonsense.
Let me help
I'm
trim
doing it
down.
again.
Let me help trim down nerd a little bit. No one cares about Black Widow. There, done. Trimmed it
I'm going
down.
to see it.
But like, what do you talk about Pokemon? Like, how much could you talk about it?
There's not infinite Pokemon.
and there's nothing. I mean,
There's 8 generations, so I think there's like over 800 of them. So it would take a while just to list each one off. It would take us about.
They're
an
not
hour.
even real.
but does someone want to hear that? Like, I don't understand what kind of content
I mean,
do you
if
want?
we get to a point where we need to filibuster and we need you in here to read all 800 names of the Pokemon, we can do that.
I would love to hear Tom do the Poke Rap, or Dan do a version of the Poke Rap in Tom's voice would be fantastic.
I'll put that on my list.
What is the Poke Rap?
Where they listed all 152 of the original Pokemon. You ever
We're
watch
not
the
here
anime?
to get into trouble. We're just here to do the Pokemon show. Come on, get out of here with that
You're
garbage.
mixing the Chicago Bears and
No, but I mean, it's going to be corny. It's like, then you got Pikachu, Electric Tail. Everybody knows he can kill a whale if you shock them. And it's going to be fun catching Pokemon all day long with my son. I don't know. It's just going to be stupid. It's stupid.
We're doing it
All right,
again.
well,
so
since we're talking about Pokemon Go, they canceled the Safari Zone that I was going to in St. Louis.
Yeah! Good.
I'm not too happy about that.
Did you get
It
your
cost
money
me,
back?
Well, that's the thing. They are doing you can play the Safari Zone wherever you're at version of it. So, like, even though I bought a ticket for St. Louis, it'll be valid for here in Orlando as long as I log in during the time of the Safari Zone here.
Safari
But
Zone?
it cost me like $79 in my airfare because the cancellation fee was $79.
Oh, they're not gonna reimburse people for that?
No, like the airfare, I used Frontier, which was really cheap tickets,
Right,
but
right. That
you
makes
get what you
sense.
pay for. So there you go. Yeah, and my hotel, they refunded me the money, so that was good.
Let me ask you guys
Nice.
a question.
I'm glad you got some coin back, man. That sucks.
Because I'm not 100% certain of the plan of action, and I don't know if anybody is, but so basically by canceling all these events, they're hoping to slow down the spread, not that this will stop it. This will slow it down until they get a vaccine, and that's what the plan is.
Or weather could change, or because certain they have said that certain. I don't want to use the either big viruses like the pandemic stuff like that can burn out if you get to different type of weather conditions, I guess, or seasonal aspects. I don't really know that much about it.
It would start back up similar to like flu season. Like it even though it gets to the summer. Yeah.
That's above my pay grade.
I'm just wondering what the long term plan is because I know they're canceling big gatherings, but that's just to slow it down. They can't. I mean, it's not like then all right, we could do it again next year. It would still be here next year. Right? Or could this? I mean,
yeah, there's always going to be infectious diseases no matter what event you're throwing on. Like because they have 2 more. Like there's one supposed to be in Liverpool in April, and then the one I'm going to in Philadelphia is in May. But those are still on. And I'm thinking about buying a ticket just to the Liverpool one because if they do the compensation of being able to play here with the same stuff, it might be worth the $20 even if I lose it or not.
Yeah, I would say it is.
It's just as bad.
Yeah, I would do it.
It's just as bad in Europe and all across the world. Like the public gatherings, they're just running into the same problem, right? Or I don't know what.
Yeah,
what
they
the
cancel
logic
like
is.
Coachella and stuff like that as well.
Well, they did South by Southwest
Ultra
is
in
canceled.
Miami.
Yeah, like large gatherings. But is it just they're doing it now until summer? I guess there's no one really knows.
There's a hard date. I think they're just going to try and see if it simmers down, right? Because the more people you have, the more you're going to get people, mass amounts of people are going to get sick at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're trying not to
spread it so rapidly.
You just don't want everybody sick at the same time. Because like Juan said in the Twitch chat room, it would just really hurt and collapse the healthcare system if they're,
Yeah.
and
No, I
then
understand.
your carriers, and you could potentially get someone sick that has a weak immune system.
Yes, but is they can't just keep stopping giant public gatherings indefinitely. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't.
This is how it ends, guys.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, it can't be a long-term, like, hey, we're not going to do any more public gatherings. Like, they have to, the economy has to keep going. So I'm just wondering what they're doing it now, which is fine, and I understand, like, public safety and, why they're doing it, but it's like, what about public gatherings in the summer or throughout the year?
Well, I think they're hoping, and Juan in our Twitch chat room is giving some pretty decent. So is Christine information about how you might develop an immunity by then, or maybe a vaccine could be produced by then. I mean, and maybe they don't have enough information, so that as much time as you can humanly get, right, is smart.
Yeah.
So they're just doing it until
there may not be an end. We're just doing it right now to slow it down to get information. They may not even have a cutoff date, or maybe they do. I would imagine it's kind of we're just going to take it case by case and do our best until we figure something out. I don't think they know.
Gotcha. Yeah. They're just going playing by ear.
Because a lot of places they're limiting it to like 1,000 people. If anything more than that, you're not allowed to assemble. But in the United States, because it's protected by the First Amendment for freedom of assembly, they can't limit that in the United States. So it becomes self-policing in the United States.
Well, yeah, and then just events backed by corporations, they're just leaving it up to the corporations to do that. All right, what do we got next?
Well, okay. Did you hear the story about Ding Talk, an app that they were using in China?
No.
Okay. So in Wuhan, China, they have everyone quarantined in their homes, and no one's going to school. So they're using this app called Ding Talk to send homework to the students at their houses. And turns out the students found out that they were using this, so they all gave it 1-star review, so it got pulled from the App Store, so they couldn't get any more homework while they were at home.
That's funny.
Effing brilliant.
Now,
well done, Chinese youth. That is well done.
Like in the United States, every school now has the direct contact through email. The teachers have the parents' emails, and that's how you can.
Everything has a portal now.
Yeah,
Jump in the portal.
You can get all that stuff.
Some kind of electronic way they can get in contact with either the teacher or the school.
By the way, does every day? I don't know if you deal with this, Daniel, but every GD Day has to be some sort of theme or some sort of week.
Yeah,
Dr. Seuss week, dressing green. Like, why? Why does every day have to be something? Like
War on Fun. We did it today. We did it today. Today's Pete the Cat Day.
No, why though?
And Maisie dressed
I'm
up
with
like
Tom. It's too much.
Yeah,
Maisie dressed up like Pete the Cat.
I gotta check the email every single day.
Well, you don't have to. Just send your kid to school and let him be the kid that gets made fun of because his parents don't care enough.
No, it's just why does every day have to be something?
It's a little bit much.
Yeah. I mean, I understand once a one
Once
week,
a quarter,
or whatever.
You're just mad because both of you guys would let your kids not dress up like Pete the Cat.
It's just
I do it, but
I'm like, it's Green Day.
much.
Why? Like, you just go to school,
learn something.
Well, just like Billy Joel instead. Billy Joe.
No.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't have
You
to.
just can't, my God.
You said Billy Joel and you ruined your own
Yeah.
joke.
I know. I meant Billy Joe. God. Usually my wife wears a Green Day outfit when we have sex, so it kind of
Oh
messes
my
me up.
What is
God.
happening? Goodbye, sir. That's when we hang up and end the
I don't
call.
even know what that means.
Well, speaking of which, my wife's MyCon was a huge success. There was like 1,600 people there.
That's a
Wow,
lot,
that's
dude.
awesome.
Wow. Congratulations, man. And please pass that on to her. That's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It was fantastic. Like, we had a Smash Brothers tournament, and that room was full.
Oh, I bet.
It was crazy how full that was, yeah.
God,
And they were doing karaoke as characters, which was really fun to watch.
We should do a con.
We need to get in the nerd business.
No, we should do a con about cons.
Okay. Yeah.
Come to the con. Tell us about your favorite con.
Con.
Panels about cons.
Nerds aren't really into cons, though.
Yeah, they love cons.
Do they?
Yeah, cons about cons.
Yeah.
The
King Con.
Any
cons.
opportunity
It's a
for them
monkey.
to dress
Let's
up
do a
and
monkey
cosplay, you'll get tons of
convention
people to
called
come.
King Con.
Okay.
We're going to have Samantha dress up in a dress, and then, we'll have EJ swatting at planes. Scoops her up.
Oh, yeah, calling me fat the other day to make sure that Tom's kids don't get big like me. That kind of hurt my feelings.
Who said that? I said that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, yesterday.
Well, I mean, obesity is an epidemic.
So
I know, I'm getting fat. I cut out soda, so I'm trying to do my best.
Good, man.
And a bunch of people talked about the combine from last week, and I was really embarrassed about that.
No,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
had to make some life changes.
Oh, man, I'm
What's your
sorry.
life change?
I was golfing with Corey from All Pro because
Yeah.
he sponsors that tournament out there, and all hit like him and his buddy that played college football. They're all laughing on you, just making
Oh, of
fun
course
of
they
your
were.
running.
They didn't laugh at you?
No, I mean they laughed at me too, but they laughed
Well,
mainly at
he's
EJ.
immune to it by now.
Yeah.
He's the Black Widow of being laughed at.
I
No
mean,
superpowers, but is okay with it.
mainly just EJ and oh, so good.
How slow I am and out of shape I am.
Yeah.
Norm wants to know how your
speaking
burpees are going.
Actually, I got back up on doing the push-ups and the crunches and the squats. So
That's
I have
awesome.
to get back in doing that. Yeah, I'm just drinking unsweet tea because I have to have some kind of flavor, but no soda, just water and unsweet tea.
Okay, that sounds good.
Speaking of keeping myself alive, Max von Sydow passed away this year at 90. Do you guys know who that is?
I saw the alert come through, didn't recognize the name.
He's Father Merrin from The Exorcist, and he's also was in Game of Thrones.
Oh
He's Emperor Ming and Flash Gordon. He's in tons of stuff. He was in Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone one. He was in Minority Report, Shutter Island. He's in tons of stuff. Like, you know the actor, you just don't know his name.
You know what's a weird phenomenon where an
He's in Force Awakens.
Well, when an actor, and I'm guessing this guy's probably now. Sometimes people start out later in life, but this guy's probably been an actor his whole life. But we only know him for like his old man roles, like the priest. Of
Yeah,
Exorcist.
he was old in '77 when in The Exorcist.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
Father Merrin. So he
True.
was old then, and then he was in Star Wars: Force Awakens, and he just passed away at 90. So
wow.
So there's certain actors that are more famous for their old man acting than their young man acting, and then there's vice
yeah, like
versa.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
So better to get into acting later. You don't get screwed up. If you get into it early, then you get put between two trailers, and then somebody pours Crisco on your butt.
That's the documentary right now. Last night, I should have brought that
Wow.
up.
If you even want to call it that, we're gonna talk about that.
Apparently, it was
on a different show. We're
It was
gonna
a mess.
Kick that one around.
You have to do that uncensored for sure, right?
I mean, I think it'd be better to, but who knows? We'll be creative about it. What else you got?
Let's talk about Kids in the Hole. Were you guys a fan of that when you were younger?
Yeah,
I used to love Kids in the Hole.
Yeah, I actually
they're
went
bringing
to-
it back on Amazon Prime.
I went to see them live when they did their tour here in Orlando. It was really good.
Yeah, like Crushing Your Head and Leadfoot Guy.
The
and
chicken lady. Yeah, I mean, I remember all of that. I enjoyed it. Was very weird, very odd, quirky, stand-up,
Very Canadian,
sketchy
yeah.
comedy, and I always enjoyed it.
I never got into Kids in the Hall for whatever reason. It was like either
It's a little weird.
I was on the cusp of
Yeah, it's
being
very
too
weird.
young.
Yeah, you're a little
for-
too young.
Or
Even I was a little too young. I kind of would watch it and dabble in it. I wouldn't say it was one of my absolute favorite shows, but there were certain sketches that I really thought were
I
funny.
never watched it.
Yeah, I think too young.
Yeah.
What's Up with Kids in the Hall?
It's
They're
coming
bringing
back.
it back?
Yeah.
Are they-
They're coming back on Amazon Prime. They're having a whole season on Amazon Prime.
So are they
So I'm looking forward to that.
redoing it, or new episodes, or like the replaying the old stuff?
No, they're doing new episodes.
No.
And
It'll never
did
work.
the entire cast come back for it?
It seems like it. Like Scott Thompson, Dave Holey, Kevin McDonald. Yeah,
Okay.
It looks like most of them are coming back.
So, I have this theory that there's certain shows that are very popular during certain like time capsules,
Yeah.
like certain periods where the exact culture is perfect for it, the society is in the right place for it, like the right time, and it can never be replicated at a different time because it just was that time and that time alone.
Have any of the revamped shows actually been as popular as back with the original? Like, there's Girl Meets World now. There's Fuller House.
None of them.
None of them, right?
Yeah,
No, none of them really go.
'Cause
And why even do it?
You know, all, like and,
Like,
and
bring it back for one season.
Well, going
and-
with even what EJ's saying, and we had these guys in, a couple of weeks ago, but even like the reboot of all that, just did not.
That's a little different to me because there's actually new kids and new talent.
Yeah,
And it's
no,
just
I
a
can see
sketch
that.
show.
Well, but they also are they're not counting out the old guys because
Right,
they're bringing
sure.
them in.
Yeah.
So I just feel like maybe just do a different version, and
Yeah.
But even that, I think people like demand it, and then like you're like, you want this, and everybody's like, yeah, we want it. But they're remembering what
it
they
used to be.
when they
well,
liked it.
that's that nostalgia factor that everybody's saying we are kind of. We're kind of enmeshed in it now, right? I mean, everything relies on nostalgia now.
Yeah.
Like so many of these tours.
Yeah, like Stranger Things. The Mandalorian has nostalgia because it's Boba Fett.
And it probably has
Nostalgia.
always been that way. I just feel like actors and producers and writers and creators have hidden that fact from us. There was a time when a show like Stranger Things, let's say 20 years ago, if it came out, of course it had influences from, like, let's say the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, right? But
wasn't so
they
blatant.
weren't so blatant about it.
Yeah.
Now, like, the subtle nods, the camera, the music, the styling, now they just shove it down our throats, because they're I don't know. I just feel like this has always happened. It's just so much more.
Yeah, like Pulp Fiction and Guardian of the Galaxy. Like
Sure.
whenever they use like the
Pulp
soundtrack,
Fiction
they get,
is
get that nostalgia. Yeah.
Pulp Fiction relies on nostalgia. Like a lot of these stylized movies rely on that kind of thing. But now I just feel like it's so much more open.
Yeah, I think society doesn't care that you borrow. It's like almost like remember when sampling, like people with a big uproar with using samples from other songs.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, you can't do that. Like a stupid Ice Ice Baby. There was a huge lawsuit, and like, oh, it's like
What do you think of that new Vanilla Ice track?
The country rap.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Remember the
not
guy
seen
that you loved? What was his name? Forniato Blow? Forniato Blow?
Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
his name.
No,
Yeah.
Fortuna Blow, whatever the guy's name is. He's a little guy, tatted up. Yeah.
Fortuna?
Yeah,
Toonie Blow.
Toonie Blow's at it again with Cowboy Troy and Vanilla Ice called Ride the Horse.
No, okay. all right.
It's a giant steaming pie, and it's good. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It just
Which one's better, Corey Feldman's new song or Vanilla Ice's new song?
Vanilla Ice's song is better. Vanilla Ice's song will get played occasionally. It's straight up country rap. It's no different than he is trying to capitalize on.
Bubba Sparks?
Well, no, he's trying to capitalize on Little Nas X.
Old Town Road.
But that guy's authentic and comes off genuine. This comes off as a blatant stylized money grab.
Okay.
What do we got
Should we
for
move over to
sports?
Jock now?
Yeah. Let's chalk it up.
All right, you guys ready for March Madness? Are you guys going to do brackets this year?
That's a big no from me.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know enough about college basketball. I don't follow college basketball. I have no idea. So everybody wants to do
so
brackets.
99% of the population, too. Like, no one really keeps paying attention until it becomes March Madness and you get the brackets. And usually you just fill it out by... You pick a couple upsets, but you don't, like, go crazy and say, oh, a 15 seed is going to be a 2 seed.
But to me, if I don't know anything, then it might as well be the lottery, right? I'm just picking stuff based on no knowledge whatsoever. Like, looking at teams like, hey, he's a favorite, I'll go for the underdog. Like, that to me is like, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
It's filling out a lottery ticket, picking a Powerball number, totally random.
Yeah, I'm not. I've never really been into March Madness, and I always feel bad because the guys that I know that are really into it have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
but I'm not.
Yeah,
into it.
it's fun to go watch the games. Like usually they're on during the day, so you go on your lunch break and you watch like most of the game, and then you come back and you find out if your bracket's still intact or not.
Now,
or there's a huge upset that breaks your whole bracket and you're screwed and you're out of the tournament.
EJ, have you heard if there are going to play some of these games without audiences?
I've been hearing a lot of soccer games, especially in Italy and
Italy's
Greece.
on lockdown.
Well, that's the other story I have. Yeah, like the Olympic torch lighting in Greece, they limited to 100 dignitaries. That's it. There's no fans were allowed to be at the Olympic torch lighting. That's supposed to. The Olympics are in Japan this year, right?
Well, they're supposed to be, and there have been talks about whether they were going to cancel them or postpone them or
push them back. Just like the plot of Akira, because the same thing happened in Akira in the 2020 Olympics that were supposed to be in Japan were postponed or canceled because of the virus.
Now, you could still do the Olympics without crowds, and you could just televise them because the television rights are what's worth the most,
What's worth the money, yeah. That's why, like, when players like the NBA, like LeBron James says he's not going to play if the coronavirus is that bad. I'm like, dude, just play the games with no fans there. Most of your money's from the television rights.
Yeah. And who knows what the hell's going to happen? I guess we're all just sitting there waiting day by day to find out what the hell's going on. But as far as March Madness goes, I did hear, and I talked about this a little bit, some interesting gamblers' perspective about playing some of these games without an audience. And tell me if you think this logic is true, that if you played a game without an audience, the favorite actually has an advantage, because in some of these games when the underdog starts coming back or starts winning, the audience gets behind them, and then it shakes the favorite, and then they start playing off because the crowd is into the underdog. So it actually shifts the game.
Playing in a silent stadium would be really off-putting. Like, you're used to that, like, noise and stuff like that, and being silent or just hearing the noise of the basketball and the referees and just breathing would probably throw so many players off.
I think the favorites would have the advantage, though, in that aspect, just because they would just be able to play their game. If they got down, the crowd wouldn't be going crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if EJ's onto something here, because if you think about it, that white noise of the crowd there might be something almost comforting to you if you're a basketball player.
You're used to
it. So you're hearing like this, almost like for lack of a better term, this drone, right?
Yeah.
That's like pumping in your ears, and it's comforting to you. You take that away, it's almost like me sleeping without having white noise. It's not gonna work. Don't ever do that again, EJ. It's disgusting.
The only counter logic to that is these guys practice more than they play.
Correct.
And when they practice, they're in silence. So technically, they have more experience playing in silence than they do with a crowd, because that's only going to be game day. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch what the hell happens.
But counterpoint to that, there's not as much pressure in practice as there is in games, so you're not. It's a totally different scenario.
Yeah. It throws everything off, and the only advantage I see is gambling. Other than that, it's a sad state of affairs.
It's also the only thing you see. So I mean,
yeah,
I'm with you.
The other thing I have is the locker rooms for the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and a lot of soccer. The media is not allowed to come into locker rooms anymore because of the whole epidemic or whatever.
Huh.
Which I think they should do that anyways. Like, why are they allowed to come in locker rooms? Like, if you guys want to talk to me, just meet me in a conference room.
I got to tell you, EJ, I agree with you. I always found it to be very weird when I was going to the Orlando Magic, the old TD Waterhouse Center.
Yeah.
When I was going there to cover anything for a sister station or just because I could, going in the locker room is an odd thing. It's very odd.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in the Magic
It's
locker
like a
room.
violation of privacy, but because they're famous, it's okay.
Yeah,
It
like
doesn't make any sense.
that is where I world famously saw Dominique Wilkins donger, and I was
hanging out bottom of his towel.
I mean, and that man, let me just say, because we are on radio, he has a lot to be proud of.
Ah.
And it was weird. It was like that was the last time I did it. Not because that kind of stuff weirds me out. I'm not a homophobe at all. It's just, you know what? Dominique Wilkins deserves to be able to change without having some Peckerwood with spiked up bleach hair try to interview him. You know what I mean? Like, nah, you don't need to be in there.
That reminds me of something I never talked about that I saw after the Super Bowl. They were like, of course, a media frenzy in the locker room, and they're following Patrick Mahomes, and they're interviewing him, and everybody's like celebrating, whatever. And in the background, maybe like 7 feet behind him, is some real man lineman that's taking his pants off. And then he's just standing there, and nonchalantly, by the way, like there are probably 30 cameras
Was
and
he
media.
powdering it up?
And no, like it's after the game, after they won the Super Bowl. Like he's dead faced, taking his like football pants off. He's in his boxers, but like he's right behind Patrick Mahomes. And then I'm like, look at him, he doesn't even care. Like he is so desensitized and used to this that after winning the Super Bowl, he just nonchalantly taking his pants off in a room with 30 cameras. Right behind the camera, Pat Mahomes is doing an interview, and the guy's in his like compression boxers. Like you could see the outline of his bell end, and doesn't give a damn. And I'm like, that's a real man. I'm like, I turn around when I'm at a regular Planet Fitness, just facing the other way because I'm trying to, I'm not brazenly, taking my pants
God,
off.
I wish you were at my
you're
Planet
not
Fitness.
peacocking in there for sure.
Yeah, at
You're not
mine,
showing
the
it
guys
off.
are always
I
doing
got over
the
that
lunges.
real quick.
I don't go to
At
Planet.
Miami, I got over that real quick. Like you had to just be used to it.
You
That
may
was
not
one of those
go.
things where
You
I'm
may
like,
not go to Planet Fitness, but do you go to Crunch, bro? I figured out why you've been making Crunch Fitness jokes. It's subconscious.
Okay.
Coming out of where you live on the left-hand side, if you're going towards the car wash or towards downtown Altamont, there's a giant Crunch Fitness sign like right by your house.
Oh yeah,
it's huge.
They've been doing like
Crunch. You even crunch, bro.
they set up promos at Wawa.
Crunch.
Yeah. And I'm like, just call it what it is. A $10 subscription that fat people forget about. That's your business
Talking about
model.
BDMs.
No, it's called Crunch.
It's like subscribe, $10 a month. You'll forget about it. You'll never come.
Also,
that's
I think
what
it's
I call my BDM.
You're also like I also like how you named it after
Crunch,
the best tasting food, like Star Crunch, Crunchy Chips, Crunchy Cookies, Crunch,
Star Crunch.
Don't Star Crunch, Nestle Crunch. Don't name it Crunch.
Oh, yeah. Just name it Taco Bell. Make a gym called Taco
Crunch
Bell.
Wrap.
Yeah. All right, EJ, is that it?
Yeah, the other thing I had was the free agency starts on March 18th for the NFL, so we're wondering where Tom Brady's going to end up is the big question this year.
He's going to end up back in New England.
Yeah, boring.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to upgrade the receivers to keep him, it sounds like.
Yeah, I can't imagine another play.
He needed to make a big deal to get New England's attention, so they try to get him some players around him. Because last year, I mean, think about how close they. I mean, they
have a good shot next year.
They made it to the playoffs. Their defense is incredible. They just need some better wide receivers.
Yeah, they were just
and
missing
better
a
weapons.
deep threat is what they were missing. They had that for all their years they've won championships, and this is the first year they didn't because the Antonio Brown debacle.
Yeah.
So.
Tobacco.
But you remember when he
Don't
hit his
say
head
tobacco.
with
You were thinking of Taco Bell, weren't you?
I'm so hungry right now.
I want a tobacco.
I am hungry. Oh, it's killing me.
All right.
On that note, come see me March the 30th at Other Bar. I'll be hosting, and that's the only other plug I have because there's another MyCon next year.
All right.
Cool,
Well,
EJ.
well,
Great job.
sounds
Tell
good.
congratulations again to your wife, man, and we'll see you next week, Tobacco.
Yeah. Sorry to Owen. I didn't mean to say you're welcome.
Okay. I still think you're lying. Okay, bye.
It's a war.
Yeah,
Owen.
it's
Take it as an
Warren,
insult.
take him out. Warren, I think you know what to do. He is. We're not gonna stand for that.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Again, if you're a BDM, make sure if you didn't get the invite for whatever reason, check your email or the app, sign in, because we have a BDM only party this Saturday.
If you don't know what that is, BDMs are our very, very super special subscribed members. They get private parties, extra shows, different benefits throughout the year. They have all kinds of different subgroups. They throw their own parties. If you're not a member, go to tomanddan.com/registration, sign up, use the love meter, decide how much money you want to kick in, and there you go. You'll have a lot of fun.
Yep, and all the free parties, you get to bring a guest with you. So it's you and a guest, and as long as you're a BDM, it's free for you.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Weird job on Wednesday. 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 On Wednesday. What is your job? What is your job? Are you a ritual or are you a fat slob?
Tom Van wants to know your job. Are you a disgusting slob?
Slob. Big fat slob.
Tom Van wants to know your job. Are you a disgusting slob?
Slob. Disgusting slob.
It's not needed. It's not. It's rude to people.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by, go ahead and plug SixFlagsMulch.com. Six Flags Mulch in Longwood. If you're looking for mulch, rocks, soil, pine straw, they got some water features now at SixFlagsMulch.com. We got Justin on the line. How you doing, Justin?
Good. How you doing?
So, Justin.
Hey, thanks for being patient enough to sit through that.
Yeah.
That's all right. I like that one.
What is your job, Justin?
So I used to run the jewelry department for a chain of pawn shops in Florida.
Yeah. Awesome.
So it was by far the weirdest job I've ever had for two reasons, because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was a crazy company to work for.
All right. Let's start from the basics. So jewelry, I'm guessing a big thing in pawn shops, correct?
Oh, massive.
Now, you would think that like the cash for gold places and stuff would take a lot of the business away from pawn shops. Is that, when you were working there, did you find that to be the case, that people were going for cash for gold instead of a pawn shop deal?
Not so much, because the price of gold fluctuates so much. So, like, when I worked there, it was like $99, $2,000 when I first started, and the price of gold was much lower, and the cash for gold stores weren't really around a ton. But, like, a lot of people they don't really shop around and find out, like, what the actual price they're buying it for. They just, like, give them their gold, and they're like, we'll give you this amount. And they're like, oh, that sounds amazing. But it's all based on the weight and, like, what type of gold it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they did that. I went with my mom one time. We had a bunch of broken earrings. And she was like, I'll just use this cash for gold thing. And I was like, oh, my God, this is stupid. And then we went there, and, like, it was actually, like, fully legitimate. Everything made sense. And it was like,
they just weigh it out. And
they were just like, it's this gold. This is the price for it. And here's your money. And she made a lot of money off of just earring backs, broken little charms, the necklaces she doesn't wear anymore. It's pretty cool.
So let's walk through the process of pawning some jewelry at a pawn shop. First,
you have to work your way up. You have to like be the boombox guy for a little while, and then you work your way to Xbox games.
Yeah.
Then you get
Justin's on DeWalt drills.
Yeah.
First 2 weeks.
You idiot! Get over there and wipe down those bikes or those lawnmowers that don't work or something.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about jewelry, and I just happened. My roommate at the time was the manager of one of the pawn shops, and one of my other roommates worked at one of the other pawn shops. And it's like I was waiting tables at night, and I didn't have anything to do during the day.
Classy
so
duplex.
Yeah, so I was just like, hey, I come work at your I come work at your pawn shop, and I happened to be working there. And then the guy that was running like the jewelry department at the time, he's like, needs an assistant. So he's like, hey, you want to come be my assistant? And I didn't know anything about jewelry.
Want to be my assistant? That's an upgrade, right? It's like come right to be the assistant position.
Yeah, I just got lucky. He befriended the store manager, and we went golfing one day, and then he offered me the job, and so I kind of learned it through him. But he ended up getting fired for stealing.
No,
and I'd only been there like 6 months, and they basically kind of handed me the keys type of deal, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Wait a minute. You had the keys to the pawn shop?
No, like to the whole jewelry department. It was like 80 stores at one point.
Because for a split second, I was like, how many times has a young porn star walked in and you've locked the door and told her that? Yeah, everyone's seen it.
Clean up your back room.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
But yeah, no, the pawn shop I worked for was a little different because a lot of people don't know that, like, so when you go to a pawn store, there's two different things you can do. You can sell the stuff, which means the store can turn around and sell it in 30 days, or you could pawn it, which means you want it back. So the store, if you don't make any payments, the store has to wait 90 days to put it out for sale. And the store I worked for, like, really wanted people to get their stuff back, and that was kind of their big business model. You had to wear a shirt and tie. You couldn't wear khakis or a polo. They didn't do firearms. It was all, like, real jewelry
I'm
heavy.
sorry, Justin. I wasn't paying attention because I was thinking about that Latina cop in the pawn store.
We get distracted easily. We're very horny.
I'm starting to doubt if that is actually a police officer because now that I think about it looked like her belt was plastic. And she didn't have a firearm or anything in the actual utility belt. And then she takes her pants off.
Her shirt, I've seen the one you're talking, and the shirt, it says
Polyester.
officer, and then underneath it says nasty gal. It's spelled with a Z, nasty gal, Officer Nasty Gal.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's
a family name.
That's not a real police officer. That Latina, she's just wearing a costume.
Look here, I like the one where it's call your mom because you were shoplifting. Then the mom comes and you're like, look, guys, I can either call the cops or you both can get naked together as a mom and daughter, and we can handle this like good Americans.
They don't even look like each other.
And you're both the same age.
She's adopted.
Is that even possible?
So, sorry, Justin, back to the...
And don't lift your arms. I can see your implant scars.
That's okay. So I didn't actually work in the store. The stores would call me up, like if somebody brought in a big diamond or a Rolex, and I would talk to him on the phone, and we were trying to figure out if it was a real diamond, a fake diamond, if it was a real Rolex or
Wait,
not.
you don't know anything about it, but you had to figure out if it was a real or fake diamond?
I learned a lot in like 6 months, but like when they fired this guy, they basically divided like his territory between the three of us, like me and two other people, and then those people got fired, and then I was in charge of everything, and I was like 22, 23 years old at the time, and I just I learned my way through it, but at the time I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I imagine most pawn shop businesses are basically it's whoever's left, like you there with the mop. You know anything about? Just Google diamonds, you'll find it. You'll figure it out. So how did you verify if you didn't know anything about jewelry or about like how to spot a fake? Did you use the internet for most of this? Like, how do you know?
Well, I learned our pawn shop was a little different. A lot of pawn shops, they'll deal like the jewelries, the Rolexes, everything. They do it kind of internally. But this pawn shop, they were trying. So a lot of diamond dealers will go to pawn shops and they'll buy stuff that's underpriced and then they'll resell it.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to avoid that. So they would send anything that somebody might be interested in to the corporate office in Castleberry. And so that we would have all that stuff. We would invite all the
corporate
diamond
pawn
dealers.
shop office in Castleberry.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, everyone pause a second for my own love. And oh, man. Everybody just hold for a second so I can just soak this up. Okay.
So So then they would bid. They would invite all the diamond dealers there, and they would bid on all this stuff. And so I got to see all this stuff when he came in, being this guy's assistant. And so I learned a little bit. But this guy had been doing it like 16 years, and I was doing it for like 6 months. And so when they got rid of him, like you said, I was kind of the only person left standing. I knew more than a lot of the store managers, but I still didn't know as much as the guy they just got let go of. And so they just kind of were like, all right, it's your thing now. This is what you got to do.
So
you're the man now,
Justin. What's the okay? So walk me through this.
Yep.
I come into the pawn shop.
Yep.
I have a ring, right, and it looks like a wedding ring or whatever.
Oh,
and
what happened?
And I'm like, I want to pawn this because
God, one day we're soapy butt, the next day we're pawning the ring.
I also
you guys got to get it together.
That came in yesterday, by the way. I'll tell you all about it.
No.
So I look at it like, this is absurd. No, like this, no one does this. And then
Charlie Sheen does in his bathroom, but I mean,
so no, yeah. So anyway, I walk in with a ring. First, are you obligated to hold it for a certain amount of time, or
yes,
catalog it in case it's stolen? Like how do you deal with a potential stolen item, and how then do you price my wedding ring appropriately if I show it to you? Like, what's the process?
So the biggest thing is, first I got to figure out if I think you want it back or you want to sell it. So I'll ask first. Were you wearing it when you came in? And if you're wearing it when you came in, that's a good sign that you want it back. So if you pull it off your finger, then I'm also going to ask you how much you're looking for. And if you just say you don't have a dollar amount, because a lot of people that would pawn stuff would have a dollar amount in mind because they had some sort of bill they had to pay. Whereas they just say, I just want to get the most money I can. And then I would say, well, are you trying to get the most? Do you want this back, or do you just want the most money you can? And most people would say, I just want the most money I can. So then I know I'm going to own it. So there's a different process where I'm going to try to resell it. But if I think you're trying to get it back, I'm going to try to get you as close to that amount that you want as I can, because I'm going to get 25% interest when you pick it up. So I can I loan you $100, and then 30 days from there you come and give me $125. You can have it back. But all I did was take your ring, set it in the safe, take it back out, and I made 25%. So it's a different process depending on what I think you're going to do with it.
So okay, this is interesting. So when you're like estimating the price of the jewelry, it's not even like you're researching the size of the diamond or the price of gold. You're basically basing the price off of whatever the dude or girl wants, and that's what the price is going to be, rather than what the damn thing is worth.
Well, no, within reason. Like if you bring in something that I think, okay, like say you wanted $100, and I really think you're coming back. I was like, I can give him $100 because I think I could probably sell it for, let's say, $130, right? Because it's a gamble. I'm gambling that you're coming back. Whereas if you were trying to sell it to me, pawn shops, nobody buys retail in the pawn shop. They, whatever the price is, they say what's the best you can do on that, and it goes down. So I'm going to try to buy it like 40% under what I'm going to sell it at. But if I think you're trying to come back for it, I'm going to make that gamble, and I'm going to give you a little bit more money. And we also used to do a thing where if you did pick it up, we'd give you a little card that says we gave you $100 on this. Next time you come in, we'll give you $125. And so we got to the point where we were loaning people money more than the merchandise was actually worth. So if they didn't come back and get it, we would lose money on it. And
this is perfect for you, Tom. It's a gamble every time.
Yeah, you would love it, Tom. It was all gambles.
It's like gambling, but instead of my Bovada app, I got to talk to OxyContin white trash.
But you already do that now.
Yeah. I don't necessarily. I'd rather just type in Bovada than haggle with some toothless OxyContin addict.
You don't want to do it in both facets of your life.
So it's more. Is there more margin and better for business loaning money? Because essentially, what it sounds like is you're just you're loaning money to people bad at life, and then they're paying you back just right before like the time period, and then only to loan it again. It's like the cash checking stores or whatever. You're just in
exactly that.
You're in a perpetual hole that you can never dig out of. Is that the deal?
Yeah, I mean, they made a lot more money, what was called the loan balance. That was kind of like the model for this store. This guy worked for one of the large corporations in the accounting department, and he saw the Orlando stores were making, like, killer money. So he decided he's going to open one in Orlando. He gets a bunch of investors, and he says, this is what we're going to do. We're going to focus on the loan. We want people to get their stuff back. We're going to make all our money on interest, and that's what they did. When I came along, they had got a huge influx of cash, like a $20 million angel investor, and so it was almost like a startup where there was like money everywhere and people were just buying things, and it was a crazy place to work.
So, going back to how you estimate the cost of the jewelry itself, like, how do you know? Like, if someone comes in with a diamond wedding ring, I mean, how do you even go about?
So the guy, they would call me. So first you measure the top of it, right? And based on the top of the diamond, you can get a rough idea of the size of it. Okay, and then I would have the person would call me on the phone, and then I would have them tell me, what's it look like? First, without, the loop is the thing you look through. So without the loop, what's it look like? So when you look at the top of a diamond, is it clean? And then they would clean it, and I said, does it sparkle? Because the way the diamond is cut, what's called the modern round brilliant. It's made so that the light goes in the top, bounces off the sides, and then comes back out again. And that's what makes it like sparkle. So like if it sparkled like that, I said, well, that's a good sign. And so then they would look at it with the loop, and I said, can you see anything in there? Does it look, dirty? Do you see any cracks? So then they said no. So then I would say, what's the color? Is it off-white, yellow? Is it got a little brown tint or whatever? So then based on that, there's a chart that basically, because diamonds are what's called carat, color, clarity. So you would kind of determine that. And I get a rough idea, I'm like, it's probably, let's say I think I can maybe sell that for $3,000. The guy's he just wants a loan for $800. I think we're probably safe there. And that's kind of how we were walking through it. Then I would give them like an approval code over the phone so that their store manager would know they got approval for anything over a certain size diamond. They had to call me to get approval so that they knew they weren't getting in over their head.
That's cool. I mean, okay.
So you don't have to get too
technical now.
You're really close to the price. You're just like, $800. I probably could sell this for $1,000. And it's roundabout.
And chocolate diamonds. Loose. Chocolate diamonds are BS, right?
Absolutely. It's a way for somebody to sell a subpar diamond. It's the baby carrots of diamond world.
Gotcha.
But yes, no, and then with the Rolexes and stuff like that, I would go around and train the stores. I would teach them how to take the bands off. And like a lot of the fakes, people don't know, it was like the model number and serial number. The serial number has to do with what year it was produced, and the model number will tell you what, like, if it ends in a 0, it's a steel Rolex. If it ends in a 3, it's a steel and gold Rolex. And so a lot of those fakes, they would just put just a random number on there. So I'd have them take it off and say, what's the model number say? And they'd tell me, and I'd say, that's a fake Rolex.
God! Did you crush people's dreams all day long?
A lot of times, yeah, because they would buy them like overseas, and I'm like, you spent $2,000 for something that in the States would be $8,500. I mean,
maybe.
Do you really think it was real?
Yeah, maybe. It would maybe be there. Like my dad.
But I got it from a Nigerian in the streets of Paris. So,
my dad
ridiculous.
went through this phase, and I feel like I'll go through it at some point too, where my dad enjoyed. I mean, obviously he had a real Rolex that he really loved, but he also enjoyed the hunt of finding really good fake Rolexes. Like he enjoyed that, and he had a bunch of them.
Yeah, and I would get a bunch. So, like I said, they would send them to the office in Castleberry, and we would get them. And then if they were fake, we would keep them. And, of course, it would be a loss for the store, but we would use them as, like, training. So I had, like, a case of, like, 20 fake Rolexes.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Castleberry, Florida is the place with the highest concentration of fake Rolexes in the world?
Absolutely.
Wow. You learn something every day.
And they had a thing for a while in the 2000s that was called moissanite. And it was a fake diamond mineral that, like, if you put one of those diamond testers on it, it would say it was a diamond.
No, they still sell that on Jewelry TV.
And that was a big thing where people would bring it in and put it as a diamond.
I watch Jewelry TV. I still watch the Rockefellers. It's 4 guys together. They call themselves the Rock-Fellas. All they're dealing is loose gems.
All right.
The rocks, get it? And it's great. They've got a soundboard with sound effects.
So, Justin, can you tell any fake jewel, like a ruby, emerald, all that stuff? Like, how do you...
I did get certified from the like a GIA, which is the Gemological Institute of America.
Oh, you're a gemologist?
Just in diamonds. I didn't go to the gems and the rubies and stuff like that. And that stuff is just... It's so hard, especially with the phone. So with that stuff, I just tell people, look, I'm going to loan it to you as it's fake.
Have you ever, while you worked there, did you ever take in a today, tomorrow, and forever diamond?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But the biggest thing, like I said, is the jewelry dealers. A lot of them would buy the rings. They would take the gems out or the diamonds out, and they would go to like jewelry stores and resell them. So like a lot of people don't realize that a lot of that stuff in those stores is used diamonds. They think it's all new, but it's not.
Used? Ew.
Yeah.
So Justin, is there like some morality in the pawn shop world where, like, say an old granny comes in and wants to pawn a ring, and you look at it and this is a Mambo diamond that she didn't know the value, and like
I was going to drop it off the back of a boat, but cruise lines are closed down now.
and you're like, oh my God, this thing is worth like $30,000, and then you lowball the granny.
You have to. It's your job.
I'll give you $2,000, granny, and she's like, oh, okay, and
that'll help with one of my cataract surgeries.
Or is it, like, because in the shows and like the reality shows, they talk about like they genuinely want to find out the cost, because to them, I've heard the old man that looks like Jimmy or whatever his name is talk about for us it's just about what it's worth, and then we're going to give you less because we're going to, it's just a business.
But they have to make something.
Yeah.
That's the line they always use. They're like, look, I got to make something on this. Yeah. You got to come up off of that a little bit.
It's not about necessarily cheating the old granny, just about so if it is worth $30,000, you tell her, but I'm going to give you $25 because I got to make something. Or do you try to swindle the old granny?
I would say it was probably 50-50. There's about 50% of the store managers that, like, if they came in a $30,000 diamond, the person wanted $2,000, they'd be like, sold. And then, like, but the other half would be like, look, this is worth a lot of money. You probably should take this somewhere else. But we got a lot of people that would do the storage worth things, where a guy would come in and he'd bring in like a box of jewelry, and he'd be like, I don't know if any of this isn't real. He's like, I don't care. How much you give me for it? I think we bought it for like $800, and there was one ring in there that was worth like $10,000. But he didn't care. He just said, this is what, $800. He's like, it's more than I paid for just for the storage unit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't want $10,000 worth of crack later. I want $800 worth of crack right now.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, that's the mentality.
But crack,
right?
There's a $10,000 ring in there. Just look through it. What else you got to do? Crack?
Yeah.
Do crack and then look through the box.
If I do my $800 worth of crack, I can't look through this box. I'll be too happy.
So, Justin, let's go back to theft and stolen goods. Now, my wife, and I don't know if you've heard the story, but
oh yeah.
So I gave
somebody stole her Steve Madden shoes.
Yeah, that too. But I gave her a ring that my dad gave my mom. It was an emerald ring. In retrospect, I shouldn't have given it to her so young. An expensive ring.
Oh, you loved her, dude, and we all do stuff like that.
And here's the thing: it's just she kept it in a jewelry box. Our house got broken into in Heroin Alley, and someone stole it. It's some kids. They also stole some like PlayStation games, it's just some kids in the neighborhood. She looked around all the pawn shops, hoping that they tried to pawn it, and all the pawn shops said, they claimed, listen, all the jewelry, we hold it for a certain amount of time, so it would be here. But I was like, listen, if they got us a really expensive ring, because it was nice, and I'm sure the teen kid, they gave him $300 for it, they could resell it for, $5,000. It's a nice ring, and so I'm sure the pawn shop's like, we categorized this. They knew it was stolen. Some 14-year-old punk kid comes in, and they're going to turn a profit because they got bills to pay. So, how legitimate is this?
So, as far as the stolen stuff, it's actually really legitimate. They tried to run like a real business. So, like, they would fire people if they took in something with, like, if somebody came in and the person's name was like Dave, and that Steve had written on the back of whatever it was, or it was engraved to a different person's name, you were not allowed to take that. And anything that was in their police report. So the police, if you filed a police report, the police have access to our database that all pawn tickets are in. So, like, they would look and they would see like a ruby ring, and they would call up and say, "Did you take a ruby ring in 2 days ago?" We're like, "Yeah." They said, "You need to put that in a police hold." So we would take that and put that in a special spot in the safe. And then the way it worked was, like, our pawn shop was one of the ones where we said, we'll give it back to you for free. Like, you don't have to pay to get back something that was stolen, but then you have to agree to prosecute the person. Because a lot of times with the stolen stuff was family members. So and then people would say, well, I want it back for free, but I don't want to prosecute the person. We said, well, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, it was pretty legit as far as like stolen stuff, because you could get in a lot of trouble. You could lose your license if they found out about that. And pawn licenses in some places you can't get a new pawn license. You have to buy out an existing pawn store. So you can't just open up a pawn store anywhere.
Yeah, it's like radio stations.
So.
Right.
So
same type of people.
Right. So that is
I'm
pretty
sorry,
funny.
it's true though.
It's true. That may be the truest thing.
Yeah, I think that's the truest statement I've ever said.
So, Justin, what about has the internet really affected pawn shops' business? It seems like it has to, because now it's basically created a market online that people sell their valuables, and then you're exposed to a worldwide audience.
Also, tons of scams though too. You know,
true, but I mean, the pawn shops, to me, it's like if you had something that you thought was valuable, put it on eBay or put it on Facebook Marketplace, or they expose
I don't hear
it to
that
a
much
lot
about eBay anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's still.
I'm sure it's still doing its thing, but I don't hear. I remember when for a hot minute, man, I was on eBay all the time.
I think the eBay is for your higher price items. Your Marketplace, your Craigslist is for your local, like you want a buck quick type of deal.
Yeah.
You don't want to ship it or do all that nonsense. So it's got to affect pawn shops' business, right? Or
So I don't know about now, but when I was involved back in 2002, 2003, it actually helped us immensely. So we had an entire warehouse in Lake Mary that we purchased, and we just did that for eBay auctions. And we were putting up like 400 a day, from jewelry to collectibles. Because you got to remember, we had some 80 stores at one point. So we had stores all across Florida, Tennessee, and so you get a complete range of different stuff. And we would send it to this warehouse, and we had 4 people that worked there, 2 posted, and 2 just handled the shipping. And it was a huge business for us. I don't know if that company doesn't exist anymore, but at the time, eBay was, that was really popular in 2002, 2003.
Of course. Well, that makes sense that you guys were controlling it. So you guys were getting in the people's garbage and then selling it online. Nowadays, it seems like people are a lot more savvy with selling stuff online, so that probably will hinder business. But I'm sure you got the people that just, they take off their wedding ring and I needed
money,
$500.
I think I'd rather just go to the pawn shop.
Yeah. It's
even,
instant.
Well, even as I am now, I would.
Like you said, you need pain pills now. You're pooping your pants.
Well, I just wouldn't want the because it is a lot, the shipping and all of that, the communication even. It might just be easier to go to the pawn shop.
So, as a jewelry appraiser at a pawn shop, what could you pull in? Did you have any commissions?
Yeah,
did
any
you get
bonuses?
any bonuses?
Yeah. So when I first started, the guy they fired, I think they were paying him $100,000. And they fired him, and I was 22 years old, and I think they were paying me $22,000. And then I did it for like I said, I did it for about 6 months. I did a pretty good job, and they bumped me up to 34. And then I was doing this thing where I would travel to the different stores, and I would take some stores are really jewelry heavy, so we would take a bunch of jewelry from their stores and do these traveling shows where we do buy one get one free, and then based on those sales, I would get a bonus. So I think I got as high as 40, which is not huge, but it was when I'm 24 years old, I was living pretty high on the hog. But then at that point, that was about as high as it got, and then I didn't want to do that job anymore. So
now,
and what did you go to afterwards? You don't have to say where.
I went to the store. I actually asked to be a store manager, and then after that, I actually moved from Florida. So.
So
we always lose our best store managers and pawn shops to other states.
So Justin,
God damn it!
Is it just a stereotype? I mean, I could be wrong, but what's the percentage of customer that has, made some bad decisions in life, or just a general POS that walks into a pawn shop?
Question.
What kind of clientele are you dealing with? 'Cause I imagine it's bad, but you could tell me that maybe it's not.
Not as bad as we think?
Yeah, it's actually not. You'd be surprised. The first store they ever opened was in Kissimmee, and a lot of times if you get into communities where it has a lot of people from other countries, they don't have a banking relationship. To them, banks in other countries there's no laws and it's kind of crooked. So they're not comfortable with that stuff at all. So a lot of them would literally come in every Friday. And they would pawn some stuff, and then they would go to work, and then they would spend the money on the weekend, and they would come back time during the week when they got paid and get their stuff back. And sometimes they'd have it back for a couple of weeks, but sometimes they might only have it back for 4 or 5 days. the same thing with a lot of contractors too. Contractors would come in and have to make payroll, so they'd be able to pawn some of their tools, and then when they needed it for another job, they'd come and get it back. And we had 60 to 70% of the people in the good stores with the good managers would come back and get their stuff. And that's where we were making the real money. Like I said, 25% interest on a loan balance of $250,000, $300,000 is a lot of money.
So you could have just said yes. No, but I see what you're saying. It's just
you just pulled an EJ on Owen
culturally, and some people would rather work on the barter system, and then people get behind, so it's this perpetual pawn your stuff.
I would have never guessed he'd mention contractors.
You come back, you get your stuff, you need money, you pawn it again. It's almost you guys are the local bank for scumbags.
Basically, yeah.
Also, you can hold on to my gear that won't fit in my truck for a little while.
A lot of musical equipment.
Got my new
musical equipment.
Well, I've got my new girlfriend's car seats in there because she's got a bunch of kids, and I can't fit my table saw in there anymore. So,
also, electronics are literally worth nothing, right?
Yeah, there reached a point where they just when I was there, we just stopped taking certain things. So people would bring in it was the kind of cross between there was still VCRs around, and we stopped taking VCRs. And people, what do you mean you don't take VCRs? And
how dare you?
VCR tapes, we'd give them 25 cents for a VCR tape, and it moves so fast that you just can't get caught with that.
One of my favorite things at pawn shops are dumb old man that can't accept the fact that his ring and or watch is fake. You ever had one of those where they literally, no matter what you say, you being the expert, they don't believe you?
Yeah, it would happen once a week.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things. I would almost pay to have a webcam on that, just so I could watch the old man go, well, I never.
By the way, if you bring in a VHS of First Blood and then give it to them, and then you give it 25 cents, you have to throw it on the floor, right, for them to pick it up. You can't just hand it to them because they have to know that this is the lowest of the low at this point, and they deserve to pick it up. All right, Justin, that's pretty interesting. It is nothing like last question. Nothing like what we see on reality shows. You never get anything interesting. George Washington's wooden teeth.
Winston Churchill's cigar.
The Miami store. So we have some stores in Miami that were underneath the elevated train there. It was a pretty bad neighborhood. They had a security door where you had to go in, close the door, and you couldn't buzz into the other door. But they got a John Wayne Gacy painting in.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. They ended up not selling it because they didn't feel right about it. They donated it to the FBI serial killer museum there that they were building. Huh. But that was probably the most interesting thing we ever got in.
That's a museum we need. A serial killer museum. That's great.
I think it'll make some revenue.
I mean, it will, but
I'd go.
We don't need it. It's unnecessary.
So
let's celebrate these guys.
All right, Justin. Take it easy. We appreciate it. You are today's Weird Job winner.
You win.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
I was going to tell him he does have
man.
the voice of a man who works at a pawn shop.
He does.
He does. Yeah.
My superpowers were that one's too easy for me.
Yeah.
If I hear him talk one time, I go, "You used to work at a pawn shop, didn't you?"
We've talked to Justin before because I recognize
he leaves voicemail messages.
Yeah.
He's Wet Lips man.
Yeah. It's Wet Lips with a little New York.
I don't know. New York Wet Lips is what I call it.
You are New York Wet Lips. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producers here. We're going to jump into some emails, but real quick, I'm doing a lot more video work on our YouTube channel. So in case you don't know, and a lot of people don't, because I realize that we live in a time where you have an endless amount of video, music, games, apps, at your fingertips. You have literally as much entertainment as has ever been available at your fingertips. And the fact that you choose us to listen to at times makes us feel really, really good. And you can go to YouTube, subscribe, get all of our video content there. It's just a replay of our Twitch feed. We're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. You can even watch replays there, a little behind the scenes, unedited stuff there. We do special shows sometimes. The Friday Free Show, it's uncensored, is on Twitch. But I put all of that on YouTube, so check it out. I think you'll dig it.
And for those of you like me that don't understand technology, once you go to your app store, you download the Twitch app.
Yep.
Then you subscribe. You can search Tom and Dan in Twitch.
Yeah, Tom and
find
Dan
our
Live.
channel.
Anything Tom and Dan Live, that's basically going to be us.
And then once you subscribe to that, click on that. Twitch will they'll send an update to your phone when we broadcast, so that if you want to watch us live on Twitch, you'll know exactly when we go on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll give you a little text and say like, "Hey, they're live."
Yeah,
pretty fun, man. You can get in there, you can chat, you can hang out. We have a nice little chat community. It's super fun. We think you'll dig it.
Yep. All right, let's do some emails.
All right.
What do we got?
Give me an email jingle, Tom.
Well, I can write you one.
I wanted him to do one on the spot.
Email.
All right. This says urgent
You're going to have to
notice.
pull that later, and I'm going to make... You've never done that before.
I like that he participated.
He would email. He did it like I do.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'd hug you right now, but you're looking a little feverish.
Urgent notice for marijuana users from my Colorado BDM. I live in Colorado and I partake in our legal weed. There have been some stories in our news lately about people that frequently use marijuana may need up to 3 times the amount of anesthesia that non-users. My wife is a surgical nurse, so I asked her about it. Her response was, yes, if you use weed, you need to tell your anesthesiologist or you're going to have a bad time. She also said that they have a difficult time managing pain post-op. None of the usual narcotics that they give you offer any relief. I thought that one was odd. I had a personal experience with this. I had an impacted wisdom tooth and opted for the sedation method. I did not tell the doctor that I used weed, but I did stop about a week before the procedure. He told me that he gave me a lot of propofol, and I didn't really even notice anything. Thank God the Novocaine worked. Anyway, I know you guys talk about medical marijuana on the show, and I wanted to get this news out to the BDM
Talk about it. We're on it right now.
So that hopefully you can avoid any horrible surgery.
I think that could be dangerous. I don't think I want to tell my anesthesiologist, hey, I smoke weed, so crank it up. No.
I don't know.
No, sir.
I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out
No.
this year, and
just give me the dose for my age, my weight, and height.
Yeah.
I don't need you dosing it up because, you smoke weed? Let me give you the
Here's the thing.
good.
I don't want to spread misinformation. I have no idea if this is true or not.
I don't believe
I
that.
don't know. It could be, could not be. Look it up yourself.
I just
ask
spit
your
everywhere.
doctor.
Quarantine.
Just
ask the professional.
And just tell the doctor the truth, whatever they ask you. That probably will do you good, right?
I don't think that's accurate.
It sounds inaccurate, but I don't know. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just if the doctor's like, well, do you smoke weed? You tell them yes, and how much. If it's useful information to them, good. I wouldn't lie to them, right?
Here, I'll be the doctor.
Good is it?
Okay, you're going into surgery. I'm the doctor.
I don't
Let's
even smoke weed.
role play.
Okay.
First, Mr. Tom, or excuse me, Mr. Van, I'm in here to do surgery on your shoulder. I'm just going to put an X on your shoulder. If you could tell me which shoulder's been bothering you, sir?
My left shoulder.
All right, I'm just going to place an X right there.
Okay.
A couple of procedural questions before I am your anesthesiologist. First of all, do you use marijuana?
I do, sir. I have my medical card.
All right. That's it.
Yeah.
Scene.
That's what.
That's all that's going to happen. He's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't think legally, because there's no way to gauge that.
What?
There's nothing precise there. It's like, do you use marijuana? Yes, I do.
What does that mean?
It means nothing. If it would be Apple, it would be like then we need to give him like 0.5 more of X to counteract the 0.75.
How would they even know that?
No, it's not. No, that's not.
And
that's fake news. Do not do that.
If you're not on it at that time, this guy's saying that it increases your tolerance to anesthesia. That doesn't seem.
They're
correct.
completely different things.
Yeah. Makes sense
Anesthesia.
THC is not anesthesia.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying like. I love that we live in a time and in society where we can just tell each other things and then we're supposed to just believe it. And I'm sure the guy is good-hearted in his email, but I just feel like...
But this is what everybody should do. They should be skeptical of everything.
Yeah,
and then
especially stuff that could do harm to yourself.
And then talk to the people that you trust you're getting the information from. And by that, I mean talk to people that believe in science and believe in facts. So just go by science, please.
Wow.
That'll be good. Go by trusted scientists and doctors that are going by scientists.
Yeah, I go
by data that is.
I go emails. And his wife is a nurse, dude.
He said his wife's a nurse. Believe him.
This one says ultimate confidence dad crash. Hey guys and Sam.
Oh, Tom loves these.
I wanted to let some people laugh at my expense because that's what we do here, right?
Yes.
My girlfriend and I wanted to take my 7-year-old son to DeLand and do some shopping last week, so we promised him we would let him ride his bike at the big park near Stetson. However, there was a wedding happening and all of the parking was taken up. I was determined to keep the promise, so with daylight burning, we found another park to take him to. This one had a very small courtyard with a sidewalk that made a square with sharp turns.
I know exactly where he went.
Anyways, I normally ride behind the boy with my skateboard to make sure he doesn't hurt himself, but this time I pulled out my Razor-style scooter I had just acquired at Goodwill for a grand total of $6. The handle cushions were falling off, and the bolt that held the front wheel was loose, so naturally it was absolutely perfect for me.
Yeah, but your wife's a nurse, so I say go for it.
We went around and around the path 1,000 times, and we're wrapping up, and I decided to throw in some razzle-dazzle to impress my boy.
Yep.
I started with some bunny hops and handlebar tricks, which gave me Van Nistic ultimate confidence, and then sped up to fly around the corners as fast as I could. Well, you guessed it. On one of those corners, I felt a wheel slide out from under me, and the next thing I knew, I was flying like Superman at warp speed. Being a skateboarder taught me how to catch myself, but this time my thumb took the majority of body weight and it bent backwards further than it ever has before. We got back to the car where I used Wendy's napkins to stop the bleeding from my knees, and I decided to play real man and continue shopping. An hour later, my thumb was swollen so much that I couldn't bend it. We went up to urgent care where my son snitched on me faster than the tattoo face mumble rapper. It turns out I broke my thumb. How embarrassing. I wore a splint on my 35th birthday because I crashed my kid's scooter. Now I can't play guitar or Xbox for the next several weeks, and everything I do is muddled with shame. This week, SFT stands for stupid effing thumb. Anyways, I'll see everyone at the 10-year anniversary. Wow, this is old.
Yeah. We'll see you at the 10-year.
Yeah, we'll see.
I like the Wendy's napkins on the knees.
Okay.
That would definitely happen, yeah.
That's a good choice.
Also, I believe
I like the dad that always thinks he still got it.
No, yeah.
No, we
It's
all
my
do.
favorite,
We
yeah,
all
yeah.
do. There's no such thing as a dad that doesn't think he still got it.
Also-
I don't believe so.
No?
Like
I've never seen one.
you have a time in your life that you're fine with falling, right?
Doesn't do too much damage.
So
yeah.
like you like my kids fall on the floor all the time.
Like my daughter will. I know your boys do this move. Tell me if your boys do this move. Even on like tile and even on like planks, whatever, vinyl, whatever, not carpet. They will jump up in the air and then land directly on their knees.
Yeah.
Like doing doing a thing, like a dance or a character or something, right? They can just fall on their knees.
Mm-hmm.
If I
From
jumped
standing to fall.
right, if I jumped right there and landed on my knees, I'd be and they turn black, and I'd be screaming,
Dad, kill him!
Yeah,
I am covered in bruises
Dad,
from
kill him.
Tank America laser tag.
No, yeah.
Like I'm
that's
still
a
in
good,
pain.
That's a great commercial for them.
No, I'm just saying, you barely like
You're not
an
used
hour
to
of
it.
activity,
Yeah, you're not used
running
to
back
it.
and forth, holding this object.
It's hard, man.
And so you start off
And I'm slamming on the ground and sliding
Yeah.
across, and
you fall crazy as a kid, then your falling slowly tapers off, but in your teens and 20s, you're still cool with falling. Like you could fall, like
But you know
you
what
go
happens?
skiing, you
Your
fall
30s. And I feel like
Your
at
30s.
30 to 40, you don't fall one time, not even one time. But then you hit 40 and you fall again, and it hurts.
Well, it's what happens is when you do fall, you're like, that was odd. I fell very awkwardly, and it seemed like my reflexes weren't like.
You're also fatter. That weight is.
Yeah. So then you're like, that was an awkward fall, and then fast forward 50 years, you fall and die. You break your legs, your hips.
Like not
your
even 2 months ago, I was
neck.
riding that electric skateboard with Maisie because I ride it all the time, like behind her bike, like this guy.
Yeah.
And I hit one of those. I don't even know what they are. You know those little. Like, it looks like a pine cone, but it's not a pine cone. It looks like a cross between a pine cone and a bunch of tiny bananas. It's green, and it's got a stem on the end of it.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell.
I don't know. It looks like it looks like Robinson Crusoe's light bulb or something. You know, like it's just it's a garbage plant, and they're hard. And I hit one of those, and it lodged under the wheel, and I went, yay! And then boom, right on the concrete.
Yeah.
Maisie was laughing, but I landed on my side. And I was like, I'm dead. Like when I hit, it was just like so much dead weight. It was just like, boom.
Yeah, you have no like reflexes.
Yeah, there was
anymore.
no bounce. There was no fluidity. There, everything was just very, very like hard and cumbersome.
Like, when you watch the People Are Awesome videos and you see the parkour guy and he's jumping from
there's a gracefulness there.
Some parking garage and he lands and he's able to absorb the impact and roll out of it.
Uses momentum to roll.
That's pretty impressive. No way anybody in their late 30s or 40s without an insane amount of practice can even. I remember being able to jump off a roof in my 20s and land in my front yard and roll out of it. I mean, it's not that tall. 10, 12 feet or
I've
whatever.
jumped off my roof and rolled. Yeah.
Could you imagine? I would never
break my ankles.
I landed so stiff that when I landed and then I slid. I did that move where it's like, and I'm just like, ugh.
And you get worse at falling. Actually, it'd probably be advantageous to your longevity of your
falling
life
classes
if you kept up learning to fall. Like,
yep. Old people wouldn't break their hips if they knew how to fall.
Yeah, because people.
You're onto something. Fallber.
Oh yeah,
I'll go in on this one.
Fallber. How does it work?
It's like Uber, but it's for old people. It's called Fallber. We have a group of technicians and parkour experts that will come to your house,
teach you how to fall,
and you'll take the course. You take the falling course from Fallber, and we will teach you. And by doing that, you're extending your life.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Well, you got to start out early. You know, I don't think you can teach your Meemaw how to fall when she's in her 70s.
You got to start in your we don't take anybody older than 55.
Yeah. And and then you
you take them younger.
I'll start
Can I start a class this week?
I will start
too young.
Yeah. Well, I already have a younger. You can be in my younger class. I only teach 21-year-old girls. Though.
Oh, but I'm too old for that one.
And
you don't want to fall on the ground right now. Why don't you try falling on me a couple of times? I don't want you to get hurt.
The impact.
So you could be in that class, but you'll be the first. Okay, I'm going to lay here. We're not going to start out with the concrete. That's an advanced move. Samantha, I'm going to need you to fall now, like flat. Fall right on me. Fall on me hard. And when you fall, you want to release some gas. You want to make a moaning sound when you fall.
Get the plan.
Get the plan.
Yeah, falling hard to do when you get older.
It is hard.
You gotta learn how to fall.
When's the last time you fell, Sam?
Probably at Tank America.
Yeah.
But purposely though, like dropping to my knees or something.
The last time I saw you fall was when you were playing Can Jam with Jimmy.
Stiff.
Stiff.
That's what it taught me. I was like, wow, that was a stiff fall.
I thought he was going to fall when he did the combine.
He's fast. He's fast, but he's only fast. No, he's stiff fast. So he was catching the frisbee for Can Jam, and he caught it because he's fast, But he couldn't you couldn't get out of the.
I was also 40 pounds heavier.
You were, and then he just
fat and stiff.
He just rolled backwards. And just kept rolling.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, it was like when I hit, it was like, I was like, wow, I shook my molars. I was like, I should have
shook my. It's rattling your teeth.
I should have absorbed some of the impact for whatever reason. Just my was like I felt like a corpse.
You ever do that move where you jump and you just land stiff legged?
I noticed that when I jumped out of the back of my truck. I used to do it all the time where I jump off my tailgate. I don't want to do the old man get on my ass and scoot off. Then I just jump off, and then I'm like, I just shook my molars again. I'm like, I'm not absorbing them with my knees like a piston.
Yeah, it's just
or stiff brittle bones.
I
threw a muffin onto the floor with two toothpicks at the bottom, and it jabbed it. It was like
the toothpicks just went straight into the muffin.
It jabbed the toothpicks into my muffin.
When I get in and out of your truck or anybody's truck, if I'm helping you guys unload, you guys must laugh because I do look like a toddler getting on and off a couch. I have to do that move where I crawl and I slide on my belly up, and then when I go to get down, I have to do that thing where my feet are hanging off.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. I'm not a man. Next email.
Yeah.
Okay. We got mail on mail story.
Ooh.
Hey gang, I just wanted to share an embarrassing story with you guys. I was shame eating my chicken McNuggies in my car at work the other day, listening to an old Friday Free show. Right as the intro to Mail on Mail started and the voice says, "Hey guys," a guy that works upstairs came walking by and past my window right up until it started giving me options for guys looking for girls, etc., and he got into his car.
Oh, you mean this one? I think I can play the beginning of it. This is what it sounds like.
Hey guys.
There you
That's
go. That's
it?
about all I can play you.
It says he kind of had a weird look on his face, but I thought, well, the subject matter isn't for everyone. Then I realized that I think he actually thought that I was calling a phone sex line.
It does kind of sound like speakerphone.
And I just
Well,
had
that's
to
what it
laugh at
is.
that one. I guess I need to make sure my radio is at a reasonable level when I'm at work. Anyway, love the show.
That's happened to a lot of our listeners where they've been put in bad situations because of our audio, and I like it.
Yeah.
And, it's your
Ruin your
fault.
lives.
You knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, I mean, it comes on in your pocket and your Meemaw hears it. Should be all right.
Yeah.
Should be all right.
Or it starts playing when you get in your car.
That happens to you, right?
Yeah. But me, it's either only the two tracks that I have on my phone are Mitch Hedberg's live album and Eminem's last album. I have no idea why.
Staying current.
Wait,
And
the recent one that just came out?
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Wow.
and I don't know if it just came out or the last year.
Which one, Kamikaze?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was
That's
like
all-
last year.
Yeah, there's a new one that came out like a month ago.
And so it just cycles between Mitch Hedberg and that. And I
That
don't
is
know.
an interesting combination.
But I don't know how to stop it because just when I start driving, like all of a sudden it'll pop up, and then I'm like,
I'm glad Apple fixed it used to be a problem that like
With
if I was
YouTube?
watching porno.
Oh.
And then you just because when you're done, you stop it and then you just swipe it down because I'm like, nobody's going to look at my. But then you'd get in your car and
it'll
you'd,
start playing
you'd,
again.
start
No,
your
that's
car,
happened to me.
And I'm like, oh God,
Yeah, that's happened to me. So I don't know. They didn't stop it.
it doesn't happen to me anymore.
No?
Yeah.
Well, you must have changed the setting or something. Whatever the last thing that was playing on my phone, Bluetooth.
will play.
Will play.
Oh, yeah,
So
you poor man.
if it's a video or
Turn the Bluetooth off.
well, then
You can't use the Bluetooth in your car.
well, yeah. Well, I could turn it off, and like, who remembers to turn it off when they get?
Me, I do.
Oh, you turn your Bluetooth off?
Yeah.
Oh, I never turn anything off. I
No.
just let it. It's just pushing
Yeah, who
Bluetooth,
knows?
red tooth, green tooth.
Yeah.
I got it all. And it's
Everything's
just-
on.
Yeah.
Everything.
I looked the other day. My phone was red hot in my pocket. It was a hotspot. I didn't even know I could do that. Apparently, I was like a web, like what do you call it? I was a hotspot for everybody in the community.
Did you see the video of the guy? His phone blew up in his pocket.
Yeah,
He's at the,
blew his pants off.
what? He
You haven't seen that?
and then he
No.
scrambled to get his pants off because there was red hot sparking.
So someone was just videotaping while this is happening?
It was like a security camera.
Gotcha.
They were at like the DMV or something. It was like South America or whatever. But he's just sitting there and it's like, boom! And then his phone is red hot and then it's in his pants and it's burning his legs. So he jumps up and then and dances out of his pants. He's trying because it's burning. So that's pretty funny.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't find it.
It is funny because the guy is freaking out when you got a hot fire in your pants and you're trying to get them off. You are panicked. And,
Here it is. I got it. Here's a video.
What-
The man dances out of his pants.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So he's there standing there, and then it blows up. Boom! And then he's like, and then so he's dancing out of his pants fast.
And all the security
Oh, the
people
security are
they're
laughing.
laughing at him.
It's sitting there. It's in the corner, red hot.
I hope he's okay.
You got an old Galaxy Note who blew up in your pants, and you do that move where you're like, go! And you try to shuffle your feet.
You're taking
to
your
get
pants off like a
pants-
little kid that's trying to take a bath.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
my
yeah.
daughter does that. Like she pulls her pants out, then she dances out of them, like
Yeah,
kicking them. You're kicking them, and you got flappy legs.
Yeah, that's another. Like when some dumb teen tries to mimic Jackass and lights his sweatpants on fire, and then has to get out of them real quick because they're burning his legs up good. Getting out of your pants fast is always funny, even though if you're getting horribly burned.
Who do you think here can get out of their pants faster? The fastest. I think I'm the fastest at getting out of my pants.
Well, you got the shortest legs, so that helps.
That does shave some seconds off.
That is my secret.
Samantha's got tall
Yeah,
legs,
yeah.
so just by pure science,
They're long.
Yeah. She has
I mean,
to
it
get
takes her 3
long.
hours.
all legs.
It takes me 3 hours to walk to the end of Samantha's legs.
Yeah. So you got tiny.
Yeah.
You got And
Like
the
my
pants are
wife
off.
called me. I'm like, hold on, I got to tell Samantha something. I'm right at her calves. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
I just keep walking.
So you're the shortest. Samantha's the longest. There it is.
Yeah.
Me and Butler.
But I don't think Butler could get his pants off. I think Butler's wife has to dress him every morning like a doll.
What, you got tiny stick legs, Butler?
No,
He does have
he's in
skinny
good
legs.
shape.
Nah, but he's got stick legs like
And he
I
wears
got.
pants with cuffs at the bottom.
Do I have
so that's
stick
gonna be
legs?
harder to pull
No.
off.
I have like the M word legs. Right?
Yeah. You got M-word legs a little bit.
Yeah. M. I'm going to make sure everybody knows.
We got a
M.
big badonk ass.
Yeah, I do.
And then like some thick
They
turkey
tell me
legs.
they tell me I got a body like a black girl.
I have a
Who told
just
you
No,
that?
somebody told my wife that, and she was like, "Yes!" And she was like, "That's awesome." She was like, "That's the best compliment I've ever received."
my thighs
big badonk.
are as thick as my ankles.
What?
But they're all skinny. It's skinny sticks.
Looks like
It's horrible.
The
Looks
guy
like
from Despicable Me. What's
got-
his name?
Yeah.
Your legs look
I
like
have the body like goddamn
Gru.
that monster, whatever that monster's name is.
Hey, and what? Like your kids kind of look like minions.
your legs look like 5 Coke cans just taped together like a wizard staff.
Goddamn flamingo. Anyway,
Oh, we should have a shirt with Tom as a flamingo.
but it needs.
Have you seen the show
Tots?
Tots? Pink. Shout out to Tots with Ross, the
No.
Orlando talk show with Ross McCoy. Have you seen the cartoon show Tots?
No.
You haven't seen Tots?
No.
The two main characters are you and I. It's a flamingo and a penguin.
Oh, really?
And they deliver babies all across the globe.
All right.
Yeah.
Just like us.
I do the napping, and like the one guy's like, I do the clapping, the other guy's, I do the flapping. They're just like they're.
I'm more of a flapper. I'll take that.
I'm more of a rapper.
Oh, okay. We gotta get out of here.
Is this the end of the show?
No.
No, we have another segment. God!
Well, halfway through.
No! All right. We'll be back with more Corporate Time.